and thank you for watching Creative Art Expressions with Christina. In this video, I'm going to show you how to add the edging to your waves, your wave border there. I've already done, every other one, and that's how you're going to have to work this edge. We're going to start at one end and go through here. You're going to be going under a wave, and then you're just going to continue that in one, continuous stitching, if that makes sense. Otherwise, you can, do a row and then tie it off, but then you'd have to weave in the ends. So I find it easier just to do a whole row. Now you could go all the way around the blanket, but you'll see that could become more difficult. I have done it that way as well, but at this point I'm going to do one side, and then you can decide if you want to continue to the next side. But then you'll have to come around, and if you want to edge the others, you'll have to come back and do it again. So without further ado, okay, sorry. I'm going to go ahead and attach at this wave. I'm going to find the beginning of it, which is back here, and I'm just going to attach down here with a slip stitch into, let's see, what have I done? I've done in the back loop only. You can decide how you want to do it, but that's how I've done it, in the back loop only, so you get this blue ridge underneath that. So then you just do your slip stitch in the back loop only of each of these stitches across that wave. And the way I do a slip stitch, kind of pull it out like you're going to do a single crochet, just so it's not too tight. Instead of going like that, I come out and go like that. So then it doesn't tighten up the work too much, because you're edging a whole lot here. And I'm using the same size hook I used for the blanket, which you should know if you have the pattern. Okay, now here I'm doing this point right here, and at this point, if you weren't going to go all the way across with one strand of yarn, you could cut it off and weave in the ends, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to take this yarn and I'm going to pull it through. Okay, so to help you out, I do have my ball of yarn to the right of me, otherwise it could get kind of tangled. And then I've pulled the working side of the yarn behind, and so I have this huge loop here, you can see. And so I've got working yarn behind there. Now I'm going to take my crochet hook and go through that loop, and I have half in front and half behind. And I'm going to go ahead and work a single crochet in this stitch here, which is kind of in between, it's kind of behind this wave here. You don't have to be precise, it's not going to be seen, but just so it's not too tight, I'm going to work that. And I know now I have my hook here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this loop, I'm going to pull my hook out to get my hook out, and then go ahead and replace it back in there, so I can continue to work the next wave without my hook being in between the front and back. So then I'm just going to start slip stitching in the next wave. But that is how you can see that we're kind of skipping a wave, and I've already done one line, so now I'm back to do that second line and lining that wave to make it kind of look like a white cap there in the ocean. And then you go ahead and do that row in front of the next wave. If you haven't done that previous wave, that wouldn't be highlighted or lined, however you want to say that. And then I'll show you again. You get to that in front of that next wave there, and at that point you have this yarn. You're going to pull it through, and now you have yarn that's going to start trailing through these waves. And if you run out of yarn here, you just pull more through from your ball of yarn or skein, however you say that. I don't remember the correct way. So at this point again, I'm going to show you. Go underneath the wave with your crochet hook, so you've got the back part coming out the front, and I'm going to find this stitch right here, and I'm going to do a slip stitch in that. And at that point, I'm going to grab that so it doesn't come out and pull out my crochet hook and replace it back in again to start that next wave. And continue that across all the way to the end, and then I will show you what to do at the end of the row. So I'm going to pause the video, continue to get to the end of the row, and then show you how to finish that row off, unless you want to go around the corner and continue to go, which you can, but it starts getting complicated with the yarn. I'll be right back. Okay, I've gotten to the end of my first row here, and I'm at the corner, and I went ahead and went under the wave, and I'm going to go ahead and do a slip stitch right here. Now you could continue and do the next wave, and ideally if I'm doing a blanket I'd probably do 2 rows, or 2 sides, the first side and the second side, before I trim my yarn. But in case you just want to do 1 row at a time, I'm going to show you how to finish that off. Find my scissors. So first of all, I've got that last hook there, and that's where I'm going to finish it off. So I'm going to cut some yarn, cut the yarn, pull it through, and I'll end up weaving that end in. But since I have all this yarn in here, I'm just going to take it from the beginning and pull it out. So now then I would be ready to start another row. And that way you don't have to stop after each wave and have to weave in all those ends. Because maybe some people like doing that, but I'm not a fan. So, and if you want, you can go around the whole blanket with 1 strand of yarn doing that, and then when you're done, pull out the yarn from all those waves. So I hope this has helped you. Please like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.